actor in Vancouver, been so for a while. I tend to get cast as intelligent, cynical, kind of bitchy women, which is fun. It's great. So it's a good time. But when I wrote Edda, who's my character in Standard Action, I wrote her to be incredibly happy, incredibly pleased with life, maybe a little slow on the intelligence side, but makes up for it in enthusiasm, which is not the kind of thing I usually get to play. She's a barbarian, and she's an elven barbarian who tries really, really hard at being a barbarian and usually doesn't do it very well.
I cannot believe you did that. What were you thinking?
I'm sorry, Guinevere, for ruining your party. I thought I was helping, that's all.
Helping? How could you possibly think that releasing that dire lobster we were going to have for dinner into the fish pond was a helping?
That beast was glorious. It deserved a fair fight. I was going to kill it for you, but you didn't let me bring my sword, and so it got away. It's really difficult to grapple a lobster.
It ate 4 rare imported fish, and it nearly destroyed the gazebo.
Not to mention smashing through the ice sculpture and the hors d'oeuvres table.
Oh, and breaking the limited edition crystal punch bowl.
And causing untold amounts of damage to the landscape.
I wrote the characters of Standard Action to be sort of the guys who were left out of the party, which is interesting because when you're appealing to an audience of geeks are the guys who are left out of the party, right? They're the ones who don't get into the really popular crowd at school, who have a problem with social interaction, that kind of thing, who are my friends and the people that I know. So I wrote the characters based out of role-playing games, but inspired by real life, and I wrote them so that they weren't caricatures. We weren't making fun of them, per se. It was people that just happen to live in this fantasy world, and they really are inspired by people that I know.
We're lost.
We're not lost.
We were actually wondering if you could help us read the map. You see, we're here, and Pig's Head Mountain is supposed to be here.
Oh.
You can't read, can you?
Well, it's not like I can't read. It's more that I don't...
Great.
We filmed a feature film 2 years ago. We filmed another one last summer. We met a lot of great people on the one last summer, a lot of crew, a lot of actors who are really, really awesome to work with and fun, but also very dedicated. And so at the end of that, I was pretty exhausted. I didn't really want to produce anything else. And that's when Joanna stepped up and started producing her project. And yeah, it sort of took off from there. With the DSLR cameras, you really have a narrow depth of field. So if I'm filming you, the tree behind you is out of focus. And the house that's way back there that would normally ruin the fantasy shot is totally out of focus, and you can't tell it's there. So that's sort of how we get a lot of it to look like this magical fantasy forest, is a really narrow depth of field that only a DSLR could provide us.
Okay. I think we're on the right road. If I'm right, there should be a bridge over a river coming up just through a glade over that way. Wait, no, this way.
Networks and TV and movies are changing so much right now, and I could see it going, I don't know where it's going in 2 years, because the industry could fall apart. The industry could totally restructure itself. The industry in 5 years could resemble nothing like what we have now, or it could be exactly the same with just a few tweaks. I would love to be paid to do what I do, but it's more important for me that I don't have crew who are coming in volunteering. It would be better if we could pay our crew. And if that means that we have to stay with the web so that we can have our own crew and reward them and pay them, then we'll stick with the web. But, if a network's going to give us $100,000 to just take Standard Action away, well, we can turn around and pay our crew and film a new web series with that money. So we're really just, looking for any way that we can keep doing this. Right now, we are turning all our energies to fundraising and marketing stuff, because it's not something we even thought of for the first 6 months while we were shooting. And we meet these other web series who, they did a year of marketing before they shot anything. We did 6 months of shooting before we did any marketing. So we kind of got a lot of catching up to do on the marketing thing if we want to have any money to do a second season. But we really want to do a second season. And if we don't get any, we got a little bit of money now. If we don't get much more, we're still going to be out there doing something next year. It just might not be as big or as complex as we hope.